I got the homie Proof, living proof with me from Southeast Houston, Texas. Houston finest. And today he came to sit down with OG Weasel Urban Conversion to tell y'all his truth about being in federal prison and state prison as well. So how you doing, brother?
What's
Thank
going
you
on,
for
bro?
stopping through OG Weasel Urban Conversion, man.
I
I
appreciate
really
that
appreciate you for stopping through and dropping these gems on these people, man.
already.
For
You already
real,
know it.
you know. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite and the opportunity to speak and to share some of my experiences. Just for uh, educational purposes, and we're not necessarily glorifying a lot of the that lifestyle, but it was what it was, and we're gonna get it out there and share some of the experiences that I went
sure,
through.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, I know you done state time and federal time. Um, how much federal time did? Well, pretty much before anybody do anything, they always kind of in my situation. I went to state first. Was that like that for you?
Yes.
Okay, so you done state time, and then you done federal time.
Yes.
So your state time, like overall, how much state time did you do?
Okay, state time I got about 5 years under my
About
belt on it.
5 years
Yeah.
under your belt. And federal time,
Federal time I got 12.
you got 12 straight 12 years.
Well,
That's 17, almost 20 years of prison, man.
yeah.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
long time out of your life. Still fairly
Exactly.
young, not fairly, fairly young, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Look like you took care of yourself along the way throughout that journey.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you sitting down with me. Um, Getting straight into the questions, man. Just I'm eager. I'm anxious to sit down with you. We had done this video once before, audio issues, but now we here. We got it together now. So
Yeah.
we're getting straight into it. OG Weasel Urban Conversion. If y'all just now tuning in, we with Living Proof, Southeast Houston, Houston. Now, if you don't know anything about a Houston, can you explain, elaborate that? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're not a gang. We're not a like a organization out here in the free world. Um, we pretty much just got together to basically keep others from taking advantage. We're just a group that got together from the same hometown and watch each other's backs, and turned into something else over the years. But
yeah, iconic, man. It
yeah,
turned into something very iconic, man,
yeah,
because you guys are well known throughout the federal prison system.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, and it is what it is today. In Texas, everybody pretty much has heard of the blast, and they know what time it is with that. But it's a lot of the youngsters are trying to make it something different a little bit, but we don't extort people. We mind our business. You know, uh, the way I explain to my homeboys is like we're like bees in a beehive, right? We mind our business. We make our honey, and if somebody fucks with that beehive, then the consequences shall follow. But we don't try to go bully people or mess with people. That's not what we were about, and you know, it carries uh, out into the free world as far as people knowing they were associated, and we keep cool in contact, and but yeah, overall it's gotten big, the biggest thing in Texas as far as within the penitentiary,
for sure.
and so yeah.
And I witnessed that firsthand being in federal prison myself as well. Um, It's my understanding that you done state time and fed time, right? And can you and TDC, state or TDC? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Can you elaborate what's the difference? What's the difference if people don't know?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of differences. I've done some state time and TDC time. When I did transition over to doing some federal time, um, like when we say state or TDC, state, it's TDC is included. So if I'm in the feds and I'm
Okay,
like, hey, I did some state time, that's including TDC.
yeah.
So, but the difference is one the environment, of course. Um, the food, the attitude from the guards, um, and just kind of pretty much the politics. You know, uh,
Being in the
it's
state.
there's a lot of differences in between that, but it's more laid back as for obviously in the federal system, um, and they try to not I want to say make it comfortable, but they try to. It's just different as far as in state. You ain't got no pool tables in there. You know what I mean? No shuffle boards or ping pong. In the feds,
No
it's
handball
yeah,
courts.
and you got some handball courts
Okay,
in the state Texas state penitentiaries, but that's probably basketball, handball, and volleyball.
right,
Probably all you're gonna get
right.
in there, and the different type of classes and things you could do, the movements. Uh, you have more. You're able to move around more. Rec calls like almost every hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, and besides the count times and things like that. But it's different. You dress different. You dress a little bit more to your liking. Um, you don't have to just wear jumpers, just one color jumpers. All day, every day.
You got the variety of things to wear in
Yeah, it's a
TDC.
variety of things. All the way up to wearing watches and sunglasses and hats and
Oh, okay,
you know a lot
yeah.
of different little knickknacks and things like that that made it different.
Oh, okay. Um, Let me ask you something. Before you hit the USP, it's my understanding that you was involved in a 7-minute riot in
Oh yeah.
FDC Houston.
Yes.
A 7-minute riot?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Um, wow. What was that like? What
Um,
was that like, man? 7-minute riot.
it's a hell of an experience. It was actually my first ride, um, my first ride in the feds. Um, I just gotten sentenced. I was probably about a year in already as far as going through the federal counties,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to FDC Houston. I was in 6 West, um, and
And who did y'all initially have the riot with for the viewers?
yeah, it
Now,
was the paisas.
the Pisces.
Yeah, paisas, and
Explain the Pisces to the people that don't know what the Pisces are.
well, the paisas are they're mainly uh, they're formed out of mostly illegals, like you know some that are getting caught coming over the borders, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it's a lot real it's Mexican, you know,
Mm-hmm.
group. They kind of try to take after our style as far as being tango, because they're not necessarily a gang neither. They're just a group of guys that got together, but they in their case, in their situation, because they're doing a lot of them are getting caught, and that's like the biggest roundup for the feds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, their numbers are bigger.
Extreme.
Yeah, they got bigger numbers. But I would say a lot less experience as far as we're from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with a lot of different things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I had a homeboy. Um, he was horseplaying with one of the Paisa group guys from the Paisas,
Mm-hmm.
and we told him before. We told him like, hey, just kind of cut it down to horse playing
Horse
because
playing in
horse playing,
prison
yeah,
and jail situation kind of lead to other
it could lead to
things,
other
man.
things. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what happened. I actually that day was, and I remember it was March 16th, 2010 when that happened, and I was still in the process of getting, I was not even there a week, so I was having to go do my medical and
Hmm.
things of that nature, and that's exactly what I did that morning. I got up and I was,
Had been sentenced already, right?
yeah,
You had been
I've already
sentenced
been sentenced
to how many months?
130 month sentence.
130-month sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
130 month sentence, and when I got back from going to the unit, um, I could just, I walk in, you could just feel the tension. You know, it's thick, man.
Did you
And
know that they were horse playing? But y'all know that y'all had pulled them up once before. Like,
yeah,
hey,
we
yo,
we
stop doing all of that. This, that, and the third. You wasn't
yeah.
around when he was doing the second part of the thing
No,
initiated.
I wasn't there when it's the shit started hitting the fan.
Right.
As far as like they ended up bumping heads. One of them didn't feel like playing that morning, and they got in their feelings. While I was gone, they ended up catching paper, or another way for those that don't know is they went and threw some hands,
Right.
fought, you know, and they fought in the TV room where out of the view of the supervision, and so that happened when I was gone, and when I walked in again, I felt like the tension, everything was quiet. People, some of the other guys were in their cells that were not involved in any of the groups.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, okay, what's going on? You already know something's up. And then my homeboys laced me up, and there was probably about five of us, five homeboys. Well, yeah, five homeboys as far as blast wise.
Right.
Um, and then there were a couple of homeboys that were corpitos from Corpus, um, and there were like six bayucos. Saying shout out to the homeboys too, man, y'all. Um, so they laced me up. They told me what that situation that happened. They fought. One got in their feelings, whatever, and well, what got us to a point to where we ended up. Uh, let's go ahead and want to take a break.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what what had happened was they were trying to tell us to discipline our homeboy. So they were trying to tell us how to handle our situation with our homeboy, and the specific request that they were trying to have us do was to put hands on our homeboy, give him a physical discipline.
Right. So they trying to dictate what y'all do
Yeah,
to him.
yeah, they were trying to, and we were gonna take care of our business anyway with our homeboy because we already done told him, hey, you know, chill out on the
He
horse
kind of
plane.
already knew it was coming anyway.
Yeah, just chill out on the horse plane, and that was for for that reason. So we
Mm-hmm.
already we were gonna take care of our business with him anyways. Uh, but when they try to come and tell us like, hey man, y'all need to do this. Uh, my homeboy just asked, just I guess for entertainment purposes, he asked them, well, what y'all doing with y'all homeboy? And they're like, oh, we're gonna discipline him too, but we're gonna put him on bunk restriction, And we were just like, man, like that's bullshit. We ain't trying to hear none of that shit, bro. I said, matter of fact, we ain't finna discipline our homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, we were gonna take care of our shit already. You know what I'm saying? And y'all trying to come tell us how to handle our business. How about we ain't gonna discipline our homeboy? You know what I mean? And I
Tension
guess,
started rising even deeper then.
yeah,
Once y'all didn't comply to the demands of how you supposed to sanction your body, sanction your body, your homeboys.
yeah,
I guess the tension probably rose a little even higher then.
yeah, they were taken aback because I guess because they had numbers, bro. They were
Mm-hmm.
So there were about 35 deep in that specific pod. Um, I guess they thought they could, kind of intimidate us or something. Uh, my understanding, they probably didn't really understand who the blast was, anyways. Um, they weren't really familiarized with us, but they were taken aback. They went in a group on the other side of the day room, and we're on the other side of the day room, and we're just trying to figure out, all right, uh, read body language, trying to see what's going on, catch try to catch the mind process, you know what I mean? And they came up, man. They came up to us. We're sitting on a table on the other side of the day room, um, and all the other groups, all the other inmates that were in there, they all went up to the second tier, and they lined up on the handrail to get a good view of what was about to take place. Obviously, there was a lot of attention, so uh, they knew something was about to pop. So yeah, they came up to us, a whole big group, like all of them, 35. Three of them step out of that group, and the guy that was speaking for us at the time, um, they told him, "Hey man, so what y'all gonna do?" Um, oh, before I continue, another thing was when we did tell them that we're not gonna discipline our homeboy, they made a comment, another suggestion, matter of fact, and they said, "Well, why don't we just have them check out, push the button, you know?" Um, and then my
And that's
homeboy,
kind of a no-no on the.
yeah, my homeboy was like, "We don't do that. We don't check out, man." I'm saying we don't understand that language, and that's when they were like, they looked like they were taken aback, and they went and got in a group and started talking or whatever. So they came up. Three of them came up out of the group and said like, "Well, what's up? What y'all gonna do?" Which and my speaker, told them like, "Hey, we already told you what it was." You know what I mean? Uh, and right then and there, that's that moment. I'm saying, and you could feel it. Like I already, you feel it. My mind,
It was inevitable. It
yeah,
wasn't gonna stop.
my
You
adrenaline was,
knew it was
yeah,
finna
my
pop.
adrenaline was already starting to, get going, and he did a holler. You see, he did it like some type of holler, and they all just ran up on us.
Man,
Um, so this is, and I'm again, look, I mean,
your
I'm
hands
feeling,
getting sweaty.
yeah, I'm feeling like
Yeah,
the
you know what I'm
adrenaline right
saying?
now. Yeah,
And that's what the viewers, and I want to say that to the viewers, man, those that's listening. When we talk about these traumatizing situations, man, that uh, detrimental situations that we've been in going through this federal system, man, I tell you, man, it takes certain things out of us, man, just to even relive these stories. So y'all hit that like and subscribe for me, you know.
yeah.
Continue, please.
So they run up on us. We're jumping up off the tables. Um, and within the first minute or two, we're we're being separated. With the
Cause there's
wave.
so many of
Yeah,
them.
with the wave
And they
that came
rushing.
in, and it separated us. So now this is where I clicked in my head, like, all right, survival mode. You know what I mean? Now it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? And I just started swinging. You know, I'm hitting anything that's in front of me that ain't a homeboy, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm realizing because I've gang banged. I grew up in the streets, uh, gang banging and getting in fights and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I've been jumped a lot. I've probably been jumped more times than I had one-on-one fights, and I've had a lot of fights. And one thing that I've with that experience is I put my back against the wall. If there's a wall, something that I could put, my back against, so no one could surround me. They can't surround me. They would
Mm-hmm.
have to just face, every single one, whoever I'm getting jumped by, whatever. At least I have a better chance without nobody getting behind me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first things I thought about. And initially I did that, and I'm swinging, I'm punching, kicking, and I'm like, man, we ain't gonna win this with my homeboys, with all of us separated. You know what I mean? So what I ended up doing is I went started going after my homeboys,
Mm-hmm.
one by one. But I was like, I need to get some of us together,
Right.
because this is the only way we're gonna be able to get out of this is
Y'all
to
sticking
we gotta
together.
I gotta get some more hands around me for
Mm-hmm.
each other back. And I went into the fray. One homeboy getting jumped on, I went in there. I started punching, I started kicking, I started pulling. The adrenaline was getting me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
getting me, and I swing faster, I swing harder. My reactions are on note, and I grab them, I get them out of there, and I'm like, come on, come to the wall, and we go in for another one. We went for another one, and we're kicking, pushing, punching, and grabbing, and we get another one with us, and then we went for another one, and I'm like, get to the wall, get to the wall, and I remember I was going for another homeboy, and this one paisa was running by me, and I clocked him, bam,
Mm-hmm.
drop, beep, and when he dropped, one of my homeboys, which was okay, so the beef the paisas had was with the blast. They thought they were having beef with only five of us, but we had two other tangos that were corpitos and six other tangos that were bayucos, and so they didn't realize that they were going to jump in with us, you know. Um, so that you know,
Was it unexpected for you guys as well?
no, I mean they're like especially the bayucos, they're like primos, they're like they're like our cousins, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean, so they fuck with us tough, we fuck with them, you know
Right.
what I mean, it's love, it's a love thing, man. So one of the bayucos came after I dropped the boy, one of the bayucos came across me and kicked the old boy in the mouth and knocked his teeth out, or however many teeth he had in his mouth. And I told him, I grabbed him, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, nah, nah. And he spoke nothing but Spanish. I don't speak that much Spanish, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm born and raised in Texas, Houston, Texas, bro.
The hoods.
Yeah. And I'm telling him the best way I can. Like, I said, he's out. Help the others. Just grab more homeboys. You know what I mean? And I'm telling him the best I can. Like, ayuda a los otros. Come on, bro. He's out. And so what we ended up doing after doing that for like the first 4 minutes, um, which felt like an hour. I ended up having about 6, 7 of us on the wall, and we made a horseshoe. Okay, so we're on the wall against in a horseshoe shape, and when we did that, that's when it turned, man. That's when the table turned, man. And one thing I love about my homeboys, man. One thing I love about we're known for having hands. You know what I mean? That's us. That's our reputation. We throw hands. A lot of my homeboys are rowdy. You know what I mean? Um, we're gonna throw some hands, bro. Win or lose, we're gonna throw hands. But they throw hands. We throw hands, bro. And once we got in that horseshoe, and they were trying to come penetrate that and come, they now they can't surround us. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't surround us. We got each other. We're so shoulder to shoulder in the horseshoe. And we started dropping these cats, man. We're starting to drop these cats, man. Where it's going to, bam, bam, cats are dropping, bam, bam, cats are dropping. Some are just running off, and and I felt kind of like fucked up a little bit because I couldn't. There was a couple homeboys like in the back of the fray over here and over there I couldn't get to. Um, and I'll talk about that more in a bit. But once that happened, bro, and we started dropping these cats, man, I'm talking about like what I mean, I was one of the ones in the front, and we're grabbing. I remember grabbing one, and throwing them in the middle of the horseshoe,
And letting the rest
and
of
the
them
homeboys
pounce
back there just bam, bam, pounce, getting on his ass, and throwing him out, and we're just going, bro. We're throwing, man, and it was so successful. It was going so well, okay, that they had to stop. They stopped.
and they the ones had the numbers.
They stopped and regrouped, okay. And we see them backing off. They're calling on each other. They regrouped, and he was telling them in Spanish, like, "Hey, man, on the count of three, on the count of three, let's rush them. Let's rush them. Get together. Get your motherfucking heads together. On the count of three, we're gonna rush them." And when we're standing there, like, all right, man, here it comes. It's gonna be a second wave. And I've noticed, and this was probably about the 6 minute mark. I've noticed my legs were giving out. They were
Body fatigue.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, that was about 6 minutes already, bro. I'm pushing, I'm kicking, I'm pulling, we're
Yeah.
stomping, you going, bro, and your my adrenaline, thank God, was just keeping me going, and um, so I felt my legs just like about to give out. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, shit. I'm like, how much longer can I go? You know what I mean? I'm, I wasn't scared or nothing. It was fatigue, bro.
Right.
It was fatigue. My legs, I haven't fought like that, that long and
Right.
that many, and you know,
That was a big event for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it echoed about 6 years after that. I was
Yeah.
still hearing about that, but I felt my legs going. I'm thinking in my head like, "Fuck, man." I'm like, let's go, man. Fuck it." You know what I mean? I'm trying to talk myself right. You good, man. And so what also helped us out when we made this horseshoe, just as a matter of fact, we have tables in there, or like card tables,
Mm-hmm.
and we eat on them too, whatever. But there was a table, it was a round table in front of us that they kind of had to go around.
Right.
Also, you know what I mean? They were going around the table, and well, that table, they ended up using it because once they started like, all right, on the count of three, uno, dos, and we're like, all right, I'm telling homeboy, man, y'all get on the clock, baby. It's finna second wave coming, man. Just get on the clock. And they said uno, dos, tres, and they came and they pushed that table into the horseshoe. I'm saying they grabbed the table and they pushed it into our horseshoe and obviously broke us up.
Mm-hmm.
And just shit, I went around the table and started swinging from there. My homeboy that was next to me just jumped on that hoe and did some motherfucking gladiator shit. You know what I'm
Dive
saying?
300
Hey,
shit.
yeah,
Dived
just
into it.
dove up in the fray, and I'm like, shit, fuck it, let's go. And so it's going down, and next thing you know, we hear the doors open, bam, and all these guards come in. They dressed up in their turtle suits, man.
What is turtle suits if they don't know?
Turtle suits is their like SWAT gear. I guess
Yeah.
you could say that, right? SWAT
Yeah.
gear,
Yeah.
their protection.
Yeah.
We call them
Full body armor.
full body armor. Yeah. So they all running up in there, and they're yelling. They got mace hands out, whatever, and um, everybody's dropping. Everybody start dropping, bam, 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 to the ground because they're like, get on the fucking ground, get on the ground, whoa, and they're running in, and everybody start dropping. I'm like, the fuck, I'm like, I want to get with my homeboys. I ain't trying to get on the ground right there. So I started getting with my homeboys, you know, and so we dropped. They separated us, and they were saying they're looking at all these guys on the ground, and they're like, "Hey man, this your homeboy?" We're like, "No, this your homeboy? No, is this your home? No, are any of these your homeboys?" We're like, "Nah, ain't none of them my homeboys."
All of them on the
Yeah,
ground.
they're like, "Damn." So they, they zip tying us up and everything, and um, they got us up out of there, man. And they didn't get all of them. They they probably got about maybe 15 of
Was
them.
it some
The
some people that that in that chaos, in that battle that y'all just went through?
Yeah,
Was anybody severely hurt in that ordeal?
I
Oh,
had one of my homeboys he had a poker, man. So yeah, I know he was poking some people.
okay,
But it wasn't nothing big. It was, we were in the FDC, so
right.
it was pretty small. But I know he poked a couple people. But about three of my homeboys had broken hands
Oh man.
from swinging, from hitting so many times. Hitting
Mm-hmm.
so many people. You know, uh,
Some broken
yeah,
hands.
they were broken hands. Like,
People got stabbed.
yeah,
Man, I know it was chaotic.
yeah.
Was it a
I
lot of
had,
blood in the scene?
yeah, there was, like I said, the one of the first guys, my homeboy kicked his teeth in. Um, but I mean, it was, bloody noses and stuff like that.
Right.
Cuts on the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, it's surprisingly because I had a homeboy. He was a Gorpitos. That was actually one of the guys in the back that I couldn't get to, and he got jumped pretty good. But I mean, he wasn't all fucked up. I mean, he just got a nice whooping. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
got
But I told him when we got out and we ended up in the holding cells, they had separated us, and they put them because they only got like 15 of them out of 35. You know what I mean? Um, and they had them in one holding cell. They had us in another holding cell, and while we're in there, we're zip tied and with our hands behind our back, and I'm telling all my homeboys, and how proud of them I was, man. Like, we did our motherfucking thing, bro. We did our thing. And I went to that one Corpitos, and I told him, I said, "Oh, homeboy, man, hey, I appreciate you, man. You got down, baby." He was the one getting jumped. He like, man, he like look at me like, how I get down? I'm getting jumped. I said, bro, you had like six of those motherfuckers, seven of those motherfuckers off of us, bro. That's six, seven motherfuckers that weren't on us, man. So I gave him some love, man, some that, and yeah, bro, that was
taking the ass
quite
kicking like a G.
that was
He
quite
was
experience for
selfless.
us.
He was part of the plan, So he aided and assisted y'all in what y'all needed. It had to
Yeah,
be some casualties, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, man. It's just but they went ahead and they started pulling us out one by one. Uh, well, no, like three by threes. They had us out three at a time, and I guess they were trying to interview us real quick. Um, and they were going into, they had it lined up on his office, and so when I was in line waiting to go into the door, I could see the paisas in their holding tank because there's a window, and one of them they were like looking and pointing and laughing and shit, and I'm looking at them, and I'm blowing kisses at the motherfucker, like showing my face like I ain't do shit, nigga, I ain't do shit, and the the guard was like, it was a female guard, she was standing right next to her, she's like, hey, she's like, don't fucking look over there, quit doing that, and I'm still looking over there like just blowing kisses at these cats like y'all ain't shit, and she told me, if you do not stop it, I'm finna tackle your motherfucking ass to the ground. I was like, okay, cool, my bad, my bad. I'm gonna chill. So they took me into the office, man. Um, and I don't know if it was SIS. Was trying to tell me, like, hey man, what happened? And I told him, I was like, hey, y'all got cameras, don't you? And he was like, yeah. So then you know what happened, bro. You gonna see what happened. And he was like, you know what I'm talking about. I said, look, I'll tell you like this, bro. I said, this is all I'm gonna tell you. They brought the beef, and we barbecued it. And that's about all I'm gonna tell you. And he started laughing. He's like, "Get out of here, bro." So I took off, and we ended up going to the hole. We went to the shoe.
How long did y'all do in the shoe?
Uh, I wasn't. I wasn't there for probably about 3 days, and I got transferred. That's when I went to the penitentiary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
good thing I didn't, because they got written up. They were writing, you get write ups,
mm-hmm,
and it didn't catch me. They didn't catch me in time to write me up,
right.
and they didn't follow me. So we're up there in the shoe, and I'm by myself in one. I got, homeboys are lined up on the shoe. It's like an L shape, as far as how we were in next to each other. And I remember I was working out in there because one of my thoughts was, man, I need to start working my motherfucking legs out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
After that experience, man, I swear I was like, man, I'm finna start working my legs out, man. That was one thing I told myself. I said, because God knows how much longer I could have, what if my leg would have gave out on me? Man, I would have been hit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I can't
Right.
stand, or I don't
Right.
know, man. I hated the thought, so I started working. I started working out my legs pretty good. That was one thing I started doing, bro. And while we were up there the next day, the guards came into up to our windows. He was doing count time, I believe, and one of the guards that was doing it came up and he called me up to the window, and I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "Man, y'all did some 300 shit, man." I started laughing like, I'm like, for real, like, man, y'all did some 300 shit, man. I don't know what the fuck y'all wrong. He said, but y'all did some 300 shit. And I remember I'm banging on the door. I'm banging on that motherfucking door hard, and I'm yelling out in the crack of the door into the hallway. And I'm yelling at my homeboys. I'm like, hey, y'all hear that, homeboys? They said we did some 300 shit. And then they just start banging on the door. Hell yeah, 300, baby. And he was like, yeah, man, y'all got down. He took off. And later that same afternoon, um, the warden went up there, and the warden went through the windows. He came up to my door, and I'm in the cell. Just so y'all, it's probably about what, like maybe 5 feet wide, 8 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
5 by 8, and then you got your toilet,
Yeah.
table, shower, and the
Yeah.
shower and your bunk. And so it's not much room, but and there's a door, and in the door there's like a square or a rectangle window, and so that's the window that we're coming up to. And the warden came up to the window, and he was looking in. He was just sizing me up, kind of, and I walked up. I was like, "What's up, warden?" And he looked around. He was like, "Those motherfuckers, man, they don't run this shit. They think they run this shit. They don't run this shit." He's like, "Y'all got down," and he just took off. And I was like, and I was proud of my homeboy, bro. I was proud of that, my thinking on that, you know what I'm saying? Because what if I wouldn't have thought like that? What if I wouldn't have gathered some of my homeboys together, man?
It would have been
How the
more
out,
casualties than
yeah, you know what I mean?
you needed.
How many of us would have been, out overpowered? You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but yeah, so that's how it happened there in the FDC Houston. And the next day, I was told I was heading to the penitentiary.
All right, that concludes this first interview. This OG Weasel Urban Conversion. We'll be back with part 2.